Hello and welcome back. How are we doing today? Today is January 14th, 2026. I did look just to make sure. We don't want to get the date wrong. We don't want to get the date wrong. We've done that too many times already. But so far, things are going well today. Just kind of playing Schedule 1 in the background, trying to progress towards the last achievement of having $10 million. Getting to a million wasn't too bad, but getting to 10 million, I think it'll be anywhere near as fun as getting to a million. Let me tell you what. I am up in the I already beat the Benzies though. So I'm up in the Benji's mansion. I beat them and bought it out, which is very nice. It's got a lot of room. I got a lot of people working here. Normally I wouldn't be doing any of the packaging, but since I just moved in, I haven't got really anything set up yet. So for now, I'm just running slop stuff in the background that I can get out quick and smooth, while other people mix up my good products and get things going. Um, I don't know what today we'll talk about. I think it's been the start of the new year has been pretty hectic. A lot's been going on. A lot is I don't know. I think a lot is just kept getting hotter and hotter. Like the temperature in the country, the temperature around the world, it just keeps getting hotter and hotter. And I don't know. I'm not meaning like temperature like climate change. I'm meaning like the anger, the hatred. All the wars that are breaking out, all the it's just so weird right now. And me, I like to. I'm just a guy who relaxes and plays games. I try to avoid any sort of problems like that. I don't know. As we all know, Brody is no longer allowed to get mad. So, um, we just try to vibe out, have a good time, and play some games, enjoy our time while we wait for. I'm waiting for college to start back up. It's gonna start next week. That'll be a good time. Not really, but I mean, I am kind of excited to keep learning, and what I'm going for is something that really interests me. So I guess there's a benefit there, right? At least I'm interested in the subject I'm trying to get into. I know a lot of people who go to college and they don't even care what they're going for, right? They want to get that degree, and once you have the piece of paper, that's it means everything, right? But without actually soaking up any of the knowledge or without applying yourself afterwards because you don't have the knowledge. I don't know what the point of the piece of paper really is, right? Other than to say you went through something. I guess maybe it'll show different workplaces that you're willing to put up with horrendous conditions as is college and force your way through a tormented scale. Especially nowadays, man, college is just it feels more and more like a Ponzi scheme every year I go. I don't know. And not because of the degree I'm going for, but because of how college itself feels. The longer we've been going for, I don't know. I feel like, especially watching the after graduate rates of unemployment continue to go up because we're inflating the market. Like my degree won't be inflated because it's medically related, so it will always be needed to some extent until obviously AI eventually even replaces us in that field, which I don't know. I mean, I think it's sooner than everybody thinks, but I don't think it's going to be within the next like 5-ish years still. So we got to keep going until AI does replace us all. I don't know. Once it does, I don't know what they'll do. If it'll be like this universal income, or if we'll have more, or if everybody will just be a government employee and they send you out to do things. I have no idea. I don't know. It'll be an interesting time though to live through. I don't know. Before even that happens, I mean, I guess before that, at World War III, we could even see that beforehand with how hot things are getting around the world, like Iran and Venezuela and China and Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Pakistan, India and Cambodia and Thailand. It's just everywhere. It's like, man. That's excluding anything going in, Africa. There's so many problems there on top of everywhere else. It's just like, man, I don't know. It's kind of sad to see. I thought the world would have been in a better place by now with how advanced we were getting, but I guess it's not. I guess people are still stupid, to the nth degree. They'll never be able to take accountability. They won't be able to work through the hard times. People are just gonna immediately give up on problems. Oh, here's my mixing room. This is what I was looking for. Thank goodness, because we have a lot of stuff downstairs we're gonna mix today. But I don't know. I think, and especially with college and school, I think they're not prior. The No Kid Left Behind is just screwing over all the intelligent kids because it slows down the entire classroom to deal with whether it be one problem student or multiple. And I just No Kid Left. It's a great idea on paper. Don't get me wrong. I completely understand the idea on paper. I respect why people wanted to push it. But every teacher I talked to has said No Kid Left Behind has been a complete and total failure. And I wish someone was willing to talk about it. I see the kids get dumber and dumber every day. I'm not very smart. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the fucking sharpest knife in the drawer. But the kids behind me I'm seeing coming up can't even read. They can't even read. Like that is to such a horrendous abuse. Like that's just child abuse. I don't know. If your kid can't read, you're abusing your children. And if you're setting them up to fail, for what? No one in society benefits from you setting up your kid for failure, especially not your kid. So I I don't know. It's irritating, I guess, to see that every student, no matter how bright, no matter how well they get it, and no matter how, I don't know, no matter how, because not everybody's as smart as everybody else. That's not how it works. There are obviously people that are smarter than others, and I see it every day I go out. And I'm not going to try to hit you with some ego shit like, oh, I'm the smartest person all the time. Nah, I'm dumb as shit. Same as everyone else. I go out and I'm like, man, sometimes I'm just astounded by what I see. I saw I don't even know if I should tell this story. Just a couple days ago, this kid, I was talking to this kid, and he's like one of my relatives' kids, and I was listening to him. What are you saying? And he was talking about how the guy he watches on his iPad is always like playing games and stuff, and how he wants to be like that guy. And I was like, guess that's kind of me right now. Would I want this kid to be like me? And the answer is no. I'd want you to focus on like better things. I'd want you to be more productive. Not saying games are a bad time. Like I said, I play games in the background of doing other things, right? I exercise an extreme amount. I'm always hanging out with my friends. I'm always doing stuff. I'm always either that or I'm working or I'm going to school. It's just there's so many things going on in my life that I don't know. I look at these people and I'm concerned, I guess is the right word. Because if you can't read, how are you ever going to turn out to be a functioning member of society? If you can't if you can't hold down a job, if you can't read, if you can't fucking if you're not some of these kids aren't even potty trained when they show up. And it's weird to say potty trained on a kid, but that's how it is. Some of these kids don't know how to use the freaking bathroom on their own. And they piss themselves or they got diapers in the class and they expect I read a horror story about some parents expecting a teacher to swap those, and I'm like, that's not why they're there. They're there to teach, not parent. Those are two completely different jobs. And if you don't know how to parent, don't become a parent. If you don't, well, maybe not that. I shouldn't say that. I should say if you don't know how to parent, try to learn how to become one before you have kids. If you really want kids, or even if you have a sudden, oh no, we were messing around, I guess. Whoops, we're gonna have a kid. At least try to look up things or learn things from your family or talk to your mother or talk to your grandmother or your aunties and uncles and ask them like, hey, what's being a parent like? How can I be the best parent for my kids? What can I do? I know how you parented me, obviously, because I would live through that experience. But how did you parent these kids? How did you go through these situations? How did you deal with these problems? And obviously it's kind of harder with some people who don't have close families, but those are the people you really need to talk to. Those are the people you really need. Like if you don't know what you're doing as a parent, talk to your family. That's your community, that's your little circle. They'll try to help you. Not everybody's meant to be a parent. Not everybody's gonna have the greatest advice. And you just gotta you're gonna have to take the bad with the good, and you're gonna have to be able to decide that on your own. Have a little critical thinking for a moment, and and figure out how to raise your kids. And I don't know, it's just I see so many people out there. Maybe it's not that their opportunity is wasted, but that they never had the right foot in the door. They never had the opportunity to excel or to shine or to show who they are, or you know, it just sucks, I guess. It sucks to see so many people just given up on. And they're not given up on by other people, they're given up on by themselves. It's like, man, you didn't even try. Or they're given up on by their parents. It's like, wow, thanks. The greatest level of confidence. I don't know. It sucks to see, I guess, but and then of course there are some people where you try to teach them something and it's like, man. And I maybe it's because I've played so many multiplayer video games, but when you try to explain something to somebody and they just don't understand it for the 10th time, it's like, okay, how can I dumb my words down so that you can understand a very simple concept? And I think that's what teachers are trying to do nowadays. And bless their hearts, they must be, if you're a teacher nowadays, you must be a freaking saint, but to deal with all those problems. But my goodness, I don't know. When I was younger, I wanted to be not a teacher necessarily. I wanted to be more of a police officer at first, and then I wanted to be a teacher. And then I saw what these people went through, and I saw how our society treated police officers and teachers, and I was like, do I really want to do that? Like, let me think about this for a moment. Do I really want to do this? I'm gonna get treated like dog shit, especially nowadays. Especially nowadays. And it's just like, man. And I guess that's kind of sad to say. I don't know. I'd love our streets to be safer, but nobody's hard on crime anymore, whether it be liberal or Republican. Nobody puts people away for long periods of time. There's no public executions or any of that for these garbage individual terrorists and different things like that. And and that's why I think a lot of people just don't care. A lot of people see that and they're like, all right, well, there's no consequences to my actions. Why would I care? You know? And I don't know. It sucks. I see it a lot. And I think it all comes back honestly to a level of accountability. There's really no accountability for people nowadays, whether in relationships and their jobs and their anything. It's just you can always pack up whenever, right? It's like, give up on it right then and there. Who cares? Live off the government. That's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. They're like, who cares? I give up. Let me just live off the government forever. It's like, isn't that sad? You wake up and look in the mirror and think, man. And I'm not saying like if you're really down and bad out of it, I'm not hating on you if you're homeless. I'm not hating on you if you're really, really broke. I really want you to get a job. I want you to get better. I want you to have a home and a family and a nice place to live. But man, I see these freaking bums that just go out and they freaking soak up benefits online and they do nothing with their life. And it's like, holy cow, dude. Isn't that sad? Like, don't you want to do something with your life? With yourself? You know? It's just I don't know, maybe people don't have the drive they used to, or maybe it's the lemon isn't worth the squeeze in their eyes. The juice, or the juice isn't worth the squeeze, not the lemon isn't worth my bad. I'm sure you get what I'm saying with that, but it's like, wow, I don't know. I wish I could get a better understanding, I guess, on what, because I feel like I'm a more moderate person, but I wish I could get an understanding on the general man, or the general woman's ideas, like a better pin. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to start looking at I need to start rummaging around horrendous amounts of like news comments and just reading and reading and reading and reading, because that's probably the best way I could get a general idea on what most people think, is if I just sit down and I just read, because every time when most people put on online is a little it's a extreme version of their self, I'd say, or like an extenuating is not the right word, but a facade, I guess. I don't know. I think a lot of people have this level of facade behind them when they're online. And it's not that they're a fake person, it's just that they're not the same as they would be in person in a normal setting. Catch my drift. So or in a less formal setting, you know what I'm saying? Like an informal setting. Like you're sitting on the couch, you had 2 beers, they're going to be a completely different person, right? Just relaxing than anything they try to put out. I don't know. Some people put everything out in the world for good or for ill, and I think that's I guess more power to you. I don't want you to ever feel like you're not living your truest self, right? You never feel like I'm holding you back from doing whatever you want. I don't care. At the end of the day, what you want to do, just go do it. As long as you're not hurting people, of course. There's always stipulations. Generally, or if you're not breaking the law, there are very few things where Brody slows down and is like, "Hey guys, what are we doing? We're being weird. No, no, we're not doing that anymore." So there's very few things Brody would put his foot down for on that, and I don't know. I think there's a few things. I think there are a few things out there. I can't think of them off the top of my head where it's just like this is an absolute no. Um, I mean, if you're doing like hard drugs and you're hurting yourself that way, come on, take care of yourself. You don't want to end up like fent leaning in the streets of Seattle in the cold alone forever until the end of your life. You don't want to do something like that. And I obviously, when I say things alone, being alone isn't bad. I don't want you to feel bad if you are alone when I say things like that, but I know most people don't want to be alone. When I look out and I take a room temperature meter, and I put it underneath everybody and I check everybody's temperature, most people don't want to be alone. Some people do. It's fine, I guess, if you want to be alone. I mean, there's nothing bad about being alone per se, unless you're alone all the time forever. That's not healthy for your mental health or your psyche as a person. I think getting out and talking to people is important, but I don't know. As long as you're taking care of your physical health and you're occasionally getting out and meeting with people, that's great. You'll meet new people. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two about the world or about that person or about relationships, whatever, right? Go out and talk to people. It's great. I, I, that's why I kind of do this. Not to talk to people necessarily, but to hear people's opinions about things I love, which is video games. Because I always put out videos that I thought I enjoyed or would make me laugh or were interesting or small little tidbits of games, right? Because I don't know. I always wanted to talk. I love talking to people about games, and I get that. I get the most interaction of that, of being able to talk to people about video games when I do things like this, or when I go online and play multiplayer games and stuff. So it's a good time. I don't know. I love playing games. There are certain games I don't play anymore, like League of Legends or CS:GO or Dota or any of those that just were siphoning the life out of my eyes when I'd play them. But uh, yeah, nowadays I play a lot. I guess I play a lot more single player games. I still play multiplayer games, of course, with people. I play a lot with Kyle and Kenzie and Wolf and some of the people from my D&D group. So it's still a good time. I think I do. I definitely play a lot less multiplayer games though because over the years I've played so many. Like one of my highest hours in a game is Dead by Daylight, and it was just that simplistic grind as a killer of just stomping people out that I love so much, and I wish I don't know. I think I spent too much time playing that one specifically, but any other game, any other game multiplayer like CS:GO, I played a lot. I had a good time. I don't think I would go back. Um, League of Legends, I would never go back and play. I'm tired of being a jungler. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Please leave me be. I'll never play that game ever again. That game is like Chinese torture, I swear to God. The CIA, they could hit me with any torture technique, it wouldn't work. They forced me to play jungler again at League of Legends. I'd start losing my mind. And it's not because I hate the game, it's because I hate all of my teammates so much. And I hate the game on top of that. So it's like the double whammy. My goodness. I just, oh, I never want to go back. There's true trauma. True trauma in League of Legends. That game's dangerous. That's like social media. It's dangerous to your mental health. I don't know. I would never ever go back and play League of Legends or Overwatch. I really that's a big one. I played Overwatch a decent amount. Um, way back in the day. I used to play Junkrat and Hanzo, which if you hate Hanzo, I'm sorry, you suck. You just can't avoid my arrows. I'm just superior. It was my accuracy, not the character. Get better. I still played him after the nerf, and I was still clapping cheeks. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. But I don't know. He was fun. I played a lot of Junkrat. I tried to play what the heck is her name? I tried to play Diva as a tank for a little while. I didn't really like how she played though, and then I tried and then for healer I always played who's a jazz guy? He's got the speaker and the oh no. Wow, I can't think of his name. He's got the dreads and he has the boom box and he's the support. He'd run around on the roller skates. God, I can't think of his name. Whatever, you know who I'm talking about. I loved playing him. I think I loved playing him mainly because I love pushing people off the map as a support. Just you see somebody near the edge, they're trying to hunker down or they're run away to heal, and they don't expect the support to come up to run up to them, right? Because they're a DPS or they're a tank. They're like, oh, I'm gonna whoop the support, and you just push them off the edge to their death. Just like, bye, sorry. That was always a good time, I think. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I think just giving up on multiplayer games after a while. I was excited for Overwatch's 2's PvE mode, but then that never came out. So, well. It may have come out today, but I haven't played in like 5 or 6 years, so I'm sorry. I'm not up to date on mediocre mid-range slot looter or not looter shooters, but multiplayer shooters. So looter shooter slop is Borderlands nowadays. It used to be good, now it's just so bad. I don't know. The first, second, pre-sequel, and I think the Telltales were okay. If I remember, the Telltales were okay, but the third game, it was like kind of mid. Tiny Tina's was god awful. I was just so disappointed. Me and Kyle have played every Borderlands all the way through. That was the one that broke Kyle. Tiny Tina's Wonderland finally broke Kyle, and he didn't want to play it, and he undownloaded it. I 100%ed the game. Kyle has never gone back. And let me tell you what, 100%ing that game was a complete waste of time. That game sucked. That game was doo doo trash. It's how can you throw away like the bombastic? I guess you still had a little bit of that, but you got rid of all the seriousness. You got rid of all the grit. You got rid of all the. And I get it's supposed to be more like fantastical setting, right? Like D&D. Well, guess what? I've been playing D&D for 20 years. Games still sucked. Like what? That's just how it is, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. I really hope 4 will be good. Um, I doubt I'll play it though. I'm just being honest. I doubt I'll ever play 4 unless it's on sale. Then and Kyle's like, Brody, we just gotta try it out. We just gotta see, please. We gotta check it out. And I'll be like, Kyle, why? It's like checking out the new Far Cry's, right? Like we used to play all the old ones, and I don't know. I own, like, don't get me wrong, I own Far Cry 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 on PC, plus Primal and New Dawn. So I'm not just a little bit of a fan, right? But I could not. We didn't finish 6. We just couldn't get into it at all. And we had noticed that it was getting a little worse with New Dawn. Like New Dawn gameplay was amazing, but the writing was terrible. And the music was god awful in New Dawn. Oh my god! And the '80s stuff was great, but the new techno schlop, it's just not my style. I'm sorry, I hate techno crap. It sounds like white noise to Brody. It just yeah. But if you enjoy it, I'm not gonna hate on you. Um, but I will hate on the music. So other than that, I don't know. I think that's it. That's kind of all I'm thinking about today. I always thinking about a lot. I guess I ramble on and on and on because my brain is it's an old glitched out supercomputer from like 1987 with like 40 tabs open, and it's just always blue screening for a moment, right? So if you ever hear me go silent for like a brief moment while I'm doing one of these, I'm blue screening probably. My brain is flatlined. If you had a heart monitor linked up to my brain, there would be no pulse. So it's just kind of how it is. Yeah, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. It's another beautiful day out. A lot going on in the world. I know not all good, so try to be safe out there. Don't try to do anything ridiculous. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Don't put other people in harm's way with whatever you're doing. And yeah, have a wonderful day.